Hey folks, it's Ardwulf, and another episode of Ardwulf Presents. In the Let's Play series for Vanguard Saga of Heroes, we are playing through the Isle of Dawn in Vanguard's new free-to-play iteration. And we are right where we left off in the Crafting Hall in Sun Village. I noticed that there's an interactable item right here. So I'm going to open this bad boy up. And we have... oh, we'll just take all that stuff and let's see what's in there. I don't know what this is, but this is diplomacy stuff with crafter presence on it. Crafter presence. And a club, which doesn't really do me any good in particular. So we'll equip that. We'll see what it looks like too. It's a diplomacy piece. And it's cooler looking than what I was wearing. Let's put it that way. Go back to crafter gear. That's harvesting gear, not crafter gear. And you can see I'm now wearing my shiny new apron, although it's not shiny. It has kind of a, actually quite nice leather look to it. And we have a quest to do a work order. So we're going to take a work order from Yoshin Storm Valley, which is the guy we've been dealing with. That's this dude over here. And I am looking for work. And we'll have an introductory work order. Work orders do not require you to use your own materials. You can, but you don't have to. So we'll pick this guy. And then if we pull up the quest log, we will see that we should have a work order in our kit here. So we need a cartwheel. This guy here can supply me with additional reagents. So in the interest of actually being able to complete these things, we'll pick up a cleaner and oil. We have solvent, and we should have enough solvent. And adhesive, and this stuff's all cheap. Blouse of finesse, which isn't quite as good as what I'm using. 40 slot utility pouch, which is pretty much what I have. And I have a smock of finesse, which I think is better, or the leather apron that I have is better than any of these smocks that I can buy. But I can buy 2 more small leather tool belts, so let's do that. Headgear I actually don't have, let's buy that. Sandals, I do have some footgear, I do have a set of gloves. Let's see. So let's pull up our crafting panel and equip this stuff. Throw this here. And we'll need to move these toolbars around. Yep, immediately. Okay, so that's done. And then we've got some additional, we have a saw, a drill, and an engraver. We're going to need some more tools. We're going to need a file. We're going to need a measuring stick. We're going to need a chisel. Well, we might need these things. But I'd rather, and we'll need repair tools. And we'll need rigging tools. So let's throw these things. And you'll get a sense after doing this for a while of how to arrange your toolkits depending on the kind of combines that you're doing. I've got my character set to hide head slot items, except for the hoods of cloaks. All this crying and huffing in the background, by the way, is related to crafting complications. So we have an array of tools available to us now, and we can swap between them as we need to. So pulling up that work order again, looks like it's under artificing. Let's go here, work order recipes. Yep. Okay, so we need a solvent, we need a saw, and an engraver, which are 2 of the items we got. So we're still using, let's make sure we're using the right tool belt. We're not. So let's check that. And we can click on this one, right click I should say, to pull up that checks on this tool belt, so that's the one we'll be using. We certainly don't want to have to change immediately. Alright. So we'll begin, and we have 3 slots available for this, and we're going to put our solvent in. It looks like we don't have the ability to use anything else here. Actually, we're going to cancel and put our additional... Didn't I buy additional reagents? Oh, they're all here. Looks like that particular combine just won't take them. That's okay. So I'll go back to my recipe. Begin, and we'll put both solvents on the table. Okay, now we go to wood, and again on this one we can only use supplied materials, which we don't want to be blowing our own materials on this stuff anyway, so that's okay. This one we only have one option again. This looks like a very similar combine. All these things change depending on what you're actually making. This is like a very similar combine to the last one. We have again quite a large quantity of action points available. We'll wait to do this last one actually, just in case it goes down, because I'm at 46% already. I have no idea what the fuck is happening right now. But everyone just broke out into dance. I have no idea what that was about. I have no idea how one triggers that. That is the weirdest thing. Anyway, we want to keep the quality up here. We want to be at least in B. If we're not at 100%, that's okay, especially for this thing where it's not like a piece of equipment that I'm going to use or anything. But we definitely don't want to finish in C or D. Even if it doesn't make a difference to our XP yield on this particular combine. And it might not. But again, it does once you actually start making stuff for yourself. General maintenance requires no particular tools. This one requires, that particular complication requires problem solving. Sometimes the complications will require specific tools instead. Okay, we'll do one more of these. Hopefully that'll get us up to 75. It did, very good. Okay, so we'll finish this guy. That finishes that half of the stage, and then we'll go here. We should definitely have more than enough action points to finish here. I'd rather it didn't come quite as close as the last one did. Now, once we've completed the stage, then we're not going to get bumped back into that stage. Certainly not to the crafting level I've ever gotten to. Another complication. Quick break uses problem solving and sculpting. Not a big deal. We got tons of points left at this point. And you'll also get, these are crafting actions that are displayed down here, and you'll get more of those as you continue progressing crafting as well. Another complication. And again, if you ignore those, then you'll start losing quality. And we get our cartwheel.
I saved the best for you.
We have to go talk to this other guy first? We do. Actually, we have to turn the work order in to complete it. Let's see. Okay, so I can click on that and click complete. And I get assorted tool parts. So we're going to turn this in, and I'm guessing the next quest will have something to do with combining those into a usable tool on the finishing workbench. There's different workbenches for different parts of combines too, so we're going to improve our saw. So we're gonna pull up that quest, find an assembly workbench, which should be somewhere around here. Somewhere. It might be outside. Is there a pointer to it? I don't think so. Get some people doing diplomacy out here. Okay, chances are excellent that I am merely being an idiot and didn't see the assembly workbench in the crafting hall. But let's look around here real quick. Go back inside. Okay, so where's the assembly workbench? That's kind of weird. I'm a little surprised. You know, sometimes in Vanguard... here it is. You just have to go find stuff. And I personally don't have an issue with that. Okay, so you'll notice this panel is completely different than the other ones. So we can pull up Artificer. We will highlight Improved Saw. And we need a worn saw and assorted tool parts. And we will assemble. And that's all there is to that. Sometimes you'll combine multiple items into a single item like you do here. Not a part of crafting that I've personally gotten into, actually.
Expect the finest.
But we're going to have to do a fair amount of crafting independently to get to level 10. And we want to be level 10. There's another crafting level for me. That puts me at crafting level 3. And we have harvesting training. Speak to the harvesting person again, which we've already actually done the harvesting person's quest. But before we get into the... What the fuck? What the fuck is that? With disco music and everything. I have never seen that before. I have no idea what it is. Maybe it's just because there's actually people around in Vanguard now. Which is a novelty that many longtime Vanguard players may not have experienced. Alright, we've got some tooltips up here too. Outfitting. So I'm a novice artificer at level 3. I have access to some different recipes. I need to visit a crafting trainer. Becoming a novice blacksmith. And becoming a novice artificer. So those are my different options for... when I reach level 11. So let's go deal with this guy. The rest of this video is going to be crafting, and I think the next video we will do some diplomacy. Now I do have a diplomacy video that goes into diplomacy in depth for Vanguard, but we don't really need to... He didn't give me anything else, did he? But we're going to do it anyway. This series is about playing through the Isle of Dawn in particular, so... But there will be an additional video available, which I will try to link when that video comes up. So we'll go back here, and we need to learn recipes. Speak to Inuto Dragonblade in the Sun Village Workshop, which is where we were. You can tell what the buildings are called, by the way, from the signs outside. If you haven't noticed that already. Okay. This guy's actually got another crafting quest for me. Artisan Saga, which is kind of the main... Okay, now the guy we need to talk to is probably upstairs. Yep.
Fair day, traveler.
So continue that. And let's see what recipes we can learn. Okay, so we've got a whole bunch of different recipes here. That we can learn.
I have the best.
What's she got, by the way? Nothing I can use at the moment.
You never miss a sunrise.
Oh, by the way, open up that tool case and put my improved saw in it. This package... Okay, so let's embark on the crafting quest. This is one of the sort of crafting / adventuring quests that actually requires me to run around on the Isle of Dawn. So we need to find... She should be just outside the workshop. Okay, so let's go outside. She's over here.
Hello. Go with honor.
Okay. So let's look at... Oh, geez, I don't even know. If I hit the P button, go to crafting. Here we go. Here's our 10 trees armor and tools. So required grade C to complete the quest. No ingredients. We need solvent, an engraver, and a saw. And the tools are probably all the same. We're going to need some more solvent, though. So we'll go back in here. And by the way, I hit P to go to my abilities panel, and I have here all my adventuring abilities. And you see I got another stance to Focus of Galenia. You lose 5% of your health every 5 seconds, but you add 25 damage, and you gain 1 blood union every 5 seconds. So that's probably not the kind of thing you're going to use against run-of-the-mill mobs, would be my guess. This stuff goes on presumably the Artificer sculpting table or the Artificer shaping bench. We'll find out in a second. Okay, so we'll pull up our crafting bag here. And trying to keep this as organized as possible. We're going to outfit ourselves with more stuff here. So we're going to grab another cleaner. This is water, which we might need at some point. We'll need bandages, actually. That's presumably for when you cut yourself during the crafting. I don't recall that any damage is actually taken. At one point in EverQuest 2's... Actually, I believe this is still the case. In EverQuest 2, you can actually take damage during crafting. And we're looking for water. So, does this guy not have water? There it is. So this ensures that we've got plenty of these crafting components, so we don't have to fool around with buying any more anytime soon. Yeah, we'll make sure we're using the right tool belt. We are. So let's go here. We have special recipes available. 10 trees armor. So we need solvent, engraver, and saw. So we'll go with this solvent, and it will pull from the depleted stack before it pulls from the full stack. And we'll probably use at least 12 doing this. Looks like I need 3 of each, so that's actually quite a bit. And here we have provided refined ingredients. Okay. Look at this now. We've got... this is a different phase 2 than we had before. So in this one, we have the second part, and we can do either of these in whatever order we like. So we're going to do this one first, and we're going to come close to finishing it. And we've hit a complication already. This time around, we've only got 2,000 points, too, so we need to be pretty careful. And we need grade C, so we need to remember that as well. In this case, I want to get to the high end of C or the low end of B. I'm not concerned about getting quality A at this time. Get rid of this complication a second time. So what we're gunning for here is 50%. We want quality B. Now, if I screw this up, I don't really lose anything if I fail the Combine by, say, running out of action points. I don't really lose anything because I didn't provide the materials. All I will have lost will have been the crafting components themselves, which are dirt cheap, so I don't really care. We're not really going to see it, at least for a few crafter levels here. But there is a difference when you start getting into crafted gear between grade A, grade B, and so forth. And I suspect that there's a difference between pristine, meaning 100% quality, and just run-of-the-mill quality A. So we have this grade B. We managed to complete it. We've got one of the 3 that we need. So let's do another one. We should have plenty of solvent available. We actually might end up needing more. And here's the rest of our items. So for the sake of... put some water on the table too. We've got 3 slots. We might as well use them. So we'll begin. Again, we'll use the provided materials. And again, we're going to gun for B here. Try not to get completely buried in complications. I want to keep that up just to see if I do gain experience for these combines. It'd be nice if I did. Alright, so at this point I'm well into C. I'm not particularly worried about a complication kicking me into the D's. So let's just finish this guy up. On the other hand, we have a lot of points left, and we want to use them. So this should finish that stage, and we still have tons of points left here, so... Oops. Again, we don't want to ignore these. If we ignore them, we're more or less guaranteed to lose quality. And we are well into B, but I'd rather not deal with the quality loss. The quality loss can be as much as 10 or 15%, so maybe not at this level. And we don't have a huge surplus of points here at the end. And we get another B, and that's 2 of 3. So we're going to need to do one more, and I'm trying to click on the bench here. Okay, so this should be sufficient solvent, I think. We'll put some water on the table too. You'll notice we didn't use any last time, but I have the slot available. There's no sense in not using it. It looks like I didn't get any XP on that. We're still gunning for quality B at the end here, though. And again, once you start making actual crafted gear, then you definitely want to keep your quality as high as you can get it. Which means in many cases that you're doing recipes that are under your level. Unless you're better at this than I am, which is entirely conceivable. But there's no difference, to my knowledge. Maybe there's a slight difference in the XP yield for the Combine. But there's no difference between, you know, a B at 57% and a B at 74%, for example, in terms of quality of the finished item. I don't think. If there is, I've certainly never observed that to be the case. There are also certainly people who are better at crafting in Vanguard than me, so take that for what it's worth. Alright, so that's all 3 of our 10 Trees armor sets. So we need the tools. And let's look at let's see how much solvent we have left. No, not nearly enough. So let's go buy more solvent. This should be plenty. And you can see we're burning through quite a bit of it here, so I haven't needed the water, and I'm guessing as to what other component might be needed. These you cannot swap in once you start the craft. But some of the actual recipes for like gear and stuff, you'll get more than 3 slots too. So you can put 2 of whatever your primary reagent is, and a couple of other things, and then maybe a dust or something like that to give your crafting a little extra oomph. You notice that I had some of those dusts, well, at least one. And you'll see that this enhancement, for example, you actually put these dusts in with the combines, and they will determine what stats the finished item gets. So to some extent, you're actually able to craft your own items, to kind of design your own items in this game and design exactly what stats that the item is going to give you. And sometimes you'll need to add the dust in when you kind of refine the materials, and other times you'll need to put the dust in during the final combine. So it just depends. In this particular case, for this stuff, it looks like this enhances samples and bales. As a blood mage, hit points are something I can use. So we may try to... Oops, let's get rid of this first. We may try and get to that and actually use this thing in something. And after we finish this one, I believe we have one more of these tool sets to make. We've got tons of extra action points at this point, so I'm not concerned about that terribly. We have just unlocked a new ability. Progress low, quality low. And we're dancing again. I don't know what's up with that. And it was poor. It was a poor yield, but we managed to finish it, and I think we gained another 4%. So, okay, so that's that set of tools done. And we'll make one more. Make sure we're making one more here before I do something stupid like make an extra one. And this particular ability right here, eventually, by the time you hit level 11 or so, you'll have 2 or even 3 different crafting actions available to you for each part of each phase. And even in the materials stage at the very beginning, you'll have the ability to make 1 or 3 or 5 or even 10 of the same item. So, which of course, you know, eats more points. I think those are where you're providing the materials. But still, you can. It's kind of built into the system where you don't necessarily have to make one item at a time. You can make multiples up to at least up to 10. And again, we want to get into B here. And that did it. No shortage of complications here. To say the least, there's a ton of people here doing crafting right now. Not that I haven't seen an equal number of people doing crafting before in the past. During peak hours, you'd normally see quite a few people in the crafting hall in Kal, which is a major hub in Kalia, one of Vanguard's 3 continents. And it wouldn't be terribly shocking to... And we have another... This is the one that I just unlocked with progress low, quality low. So we don't need any more quality particularly, so we'll go the cheap route. all the other items in here are A's or B's, so I don't really care if this makes it to A or not. But sometimes I'm pushing for A. That said, I don't want to take a quality loss either. And okay, so that is the last item that I needed for the quest. So we'll go out here. Looks like we did get some XP for those combines, actually.
Fair day, traveler.
And we got some headgear, which is quite a bit better than what I'm using.
I may have a task for you. What is not clear?
Okay, so first we'll put this thing on, because it's considerably better than what I was using. Let me show you the option for that. We'll see if we can determine how this this get-up looks. If we go to character, I think we can... I don't see an option to show his crafting headgear. Anyway, the current quest will send us back down to Ten Trees Village, which you may recall was the very first quest hub that we started in on the Isle of Dawn. So we'll head back down there, and then very likely call this nearly half-an-hour video. We're currently a level 3 crafter. Now, one of the things that I mentioned in a previous video is that you start taking the Vanguard death penalty at level 11. That does not have to be adventuring level 11. It can be... Oh, look at this. Somebody has their own boat out here in the Isle of Dawn. Now that you can buy boats in the marketplace. Looks like a Thestran galleon. That would be the biggest type. I'm almost certainly going to end up buying one of those. I've got the points. I wait for the triple station cash weekends to get points. So, all right. Now, who do I talk to down here? Kamashi Sunrain. Don't know where he's at off the top of my head. Let's turn names off. He is over here. The Artisan Saga, by the way, is a crafting quest line that will continue after you leave the Isle of Dawn. Okay, so let's look at my recipes here. We should have something. Okay, this one is a forming recipe, and we do have all of our needed crafting workbenches here down here in Ten Trees Village. This is not the right table. It's apparently the Artificer's Shaping Bench. Alright, so for this guy we need solvent, saw, and drill. What do we have for solvent? We have enough. How many do I need? Looks like I need 3 of these. So I'm going to say I need more more solvent, and I hope I don't have to go back to Sun Village to get them. Looks like no.
I carry the best variety.
Alright, that ought to be enough. Alright, so Before I build this this particular thing, it works pretty much exactly like it did before. I'm going to call this video, and we're going to pick things back up once I'm ready to turn in this particular quest. I hope you've enjoyed watching. There will be more Vanguard videos on the way, as well as videos for other games, so please subscribe to the channel. You'll find in the notes below a link to my website at ardwulfslair.wordpress.com and links to follow me on Google, Facebook, and Twitter, so check those things out as well. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I will see you next time.